Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Abhay Jannaran Bhaktivedanta Swamy Prabhupada ki jai. Iskan founder Acharya Secretary the whole world Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Gaura ki jai. Lakshmi Narasimha Swamy ki jai. Radha Govinda ki jai. Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Reading from Shri Prabhupada's Leela as it is. You are all my children and I love my American boys and girls who are sent to me by my spiritual master, and I have accepted them as my disciples. Before coming to your country, I took sannyas in 1959. I was publishing BTG since 1944. After taking sannyas, I was more engaged in writing my books without any attempt to construct temples or to make disciples like my other god brothers in India. I was not very much interested in these matters because my Guru Maharaj liked very much publication of books than constructing big temples and creating some neophyte disciples. As soon as he saw that his neophyte disciples were increasing in number, he immediately decided to leave this world. To accept disciples means to take up the responsibility of absorbing the sinful reactions of the life of the disciple. At the present moment in our ISKCON campus, politics and diplomacy has entered. Some of my beloved students on whom I counted very much have been involved in this matter, influenced by Maya. As such, there has been some activity which I consider as disrespectful. So I have decided to retire and divert attention to book writing and nothing more. The ISKCON press was specifically established exclusively for printing my books. Please therefore give me an idea how you can help me in getting all my manuscripts printed as soon as possible. Whenever Advaita is submitting an estimate for printing my books, I am supplying the money immediately. So far the finance is concerned, Krishna is supplying. Therefore, if you simply print my books in the press incessantly, that will give me great delight. Prabhupada ki jai. What's the date today? This was the strategy of Srila Prabhupada, that he stressed on book distribution in the Western countries. But as soon as Srila Prabhupada came to India, he established gorgeous temples. Mumbai, Calcutta, Hyderabad, Vrindavan. Not only that he established gorgeous temples, he also established a trust, Mayapur Vrindavan Trust, to take care of these two temple deity worship. He created a specific trust like that. So, according to time, place and circumstance, Prabhupada has given instructions to spread the movement, spread the preaching. So we should carefully fit the things into our overall picture. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 10, and Text 10. Purushaha Andam Vinirvidya Purushondam Vinirvidya Yadha Asau Saha Vinirgataha Yadha Asau Sa Vinirgataha Atmanaha Ayanam Anvichan Atmanoyanam Anvichan Apaha Asrakshi Suchihi Aposhrakshi Suchihi Purushondam Vinirvidya Yada Sausa Vinirgataha Atmanoyanam Anvichan Aposhrakshi Suchihi
Purushondam Vinirvidya Yada Sausa Vinirgataha Atmanoyanam Anvichan Aposhrakshi Suchihi
Purushaha, the Supreme Person, Paramatma, Andam, the universes, Vinirvidya, making them each separately situated. Yadha, when, Asau, the same, Saha, he, the Lord, Vinirgataha, came out, Atmanaha, of himself, Ayanam, lying in place, Anvichan, desiring, Apaha, water, Asrakshi, created, Suchihi, the most pure, Suchihi, transcendental. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swamy Prabhupada. The gigantic universal form of the Lord Mahavishnu, which came out of the causal ocean, the place of appearance of the first Purusha Avatara, after separating the different universes, entered into each of the separate universes, desiring to lie on the created transcendental water, Garbhodaka. Please repeat. The gigantic universal form of the Lord Mahavishnu, which came out of the causal ocean, the place of appearance of the first Purusha Avatara, after separating the different universes, entered into each of the separate universes, desiring to lie on the created transcendental water, Garbhodaka. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. After analysis of the living entities and the Supreme Lord Paramatma, the independent source of all other living beings, Srila Shukadeva Goswami is now presenting the prime necessity for devotional service of the Lord, which is the only occupational business of all living entities. The Supreme Lord Shri Krishna and his plenary portions and extensions of plenary portions are not different from one another, and thus the supreme independence is there in each and every one of them. In order to prove this, Shukadeva Goswami, as promised to King Parikshit, describes herein the independence of the Purusha Avatara personality of Godhead, even in the sphere of the material creation. Such activities of the Lord are all also transcendental, and therefore they are also Leela, or pastimes of the Absolute Lord. Such pastimes of the Lord are very conducive to the hearers for the self-realization in the field of devotional service. Some may argue, why not then relish the transcendental Leela of the Lord as exhibited in the land of Mathura and Vrindavan, which are sweeter than anything in the world? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur replies that the pastimes of the Lord in Vrindavan are meant to be relished by advanced devotees of the Lord. Neophyte devotees will misunderstand such supreme transcendental activities of the Lord, and therefore for the neophyte, the Lord's pastimes in the material sphere related to creation, maintenance and destruction are verily relishable by the Prakruta or mundane devotees of the Lord. As the yoga system mainly based on bodily exercises is meant for the person who is too much attached to the bodily conception of existence, similarly the pastimes of the Lord related to creation and destruction of the material world are for those who are too much materially attached. For such mundane creatures, the functions of the body as well as the functions of the cosmic world by physical laws and relationship with the Lord are also therefore included in understanding the lawmaker, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The scientists explain the material functions by so many technological terms of material law, but such blind scientists forget the lawmaker. The Srimad Bhagavatam points out the lawmaker. One should not be imaged by the mechanical arrangement of the complicated engine or dynamo, but one should be praising the engineer who creates such a wonderful working machine. That is the difference between the devotee and non-devotee. Devotees are always full with praising the Lord who directs the physical laws. In the Bhagavad Gita, the direction of the Lord upon the material nature is described as follows. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam etunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. The material nature, full of physical laws, is one of my different energies. Therefore, it is neither independent nor blind. Because I am transcendentally all-powerful, simply by my glancing over the material nature, the physical laws of nature work so wonderfully. The actions and reactions of the physical laws work on that account, and thus the material world is created, maintained and annihilated again and again. Men with poor fund of knowledge, however, become astonished by studying the physical laws, both within the construction of the individual body as well as the cosmic manifestation, and foolishly decry the existence of God, taking it for granted that the physical laws are independent without any metaphysical control. The Bhagavad Gita replies to this foolishness in the following words: Avajananti mamuda manushim dharmashritam param bhavajaనంతో mama bhuta maheshwaram. The foolish men, Muda, do not know the personality of Godhead in his eternal form of bliss and knowledge. Foolish man thinks of the transcendental body of the Lord as something like his own, and therefore he cannot think of the Lord's unlimited power of control, even though he is not visible in the acting of the physical laws. The Lord is, however, visible to the naked eyes of the people in general when he descends himself by his own personal potency. Lord Krishna incarnated himself as he is and played very wonderful parts as the Lord himself, and the Bhagavad Gita concerns such wonderful actions and knowledge, and yet foolish men will not accept Lord Krishna as the Supreme Lord. Generally, they consider the infinitesimal and infinite features of the Lord because they themselves are unable to become either the infinitesimal or the infinite. But one should know that the infinite and the infinitesimal sizes of the Lord are not his highest glories. The most wonderful manifestation of the Lord's power is exhibited when the infinite Lord becomes visible to our eyes as one of us. Yet his activities are different from those of the finite beings. To lift a mountain at the age of 6 years or to marry 16,000 wives in his prime of youth are some of the examples of his infinite energy. But the Mudas, after seeing them or hearing about them, decry them as legendary and take the Lord as one of them. They cannot understand that the Lord Sri Krishna, although in the form of a human being, by his own potency, is still the Supreme Lord with full potency as Supreme Controller. When, however, the Mudas give submissive oral reception to the messages of the Lord, as in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita or in the Srimad Bhagavatam, through the channel of disciplic succession, such Mudas also become devotees of the Lord by the grace of his pure devotees. And for this reason only, either in the Bhagavad Gita or in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the pastimes of the Lord in the material world are delineated for the benefit of those men with a poor fund of knowledge. Dasanastu Bhagavatam Bhagavato Madhyam Timiram Dasya Dhanam Janashalakya Chakshurvidikam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamy Nityaname Namaste Saraswate Deve Bhagavani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachyata Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here, Purusho Andam Vinirvidya Yadaso Vinirgataha. So the Lord, as the gigantic universal form of the Lord, Mahavishnu, and this form came out of the causal ocean. And then causal ocean, here it is explained as the place of appearance of the first Purusha. And then there are innumerable universes came from the bodily pores of Mahavishnu. And the Lord himself entered into each one of them as the second super soul, second Purusha, Garbhodaka Shri. So, desiring to lie on the created transcendental Vardhana. Asrakshit Shuchi Suchihi. Suchihi means transcendental, most pure. That is Garbhodaka. So, one cannot conceive the Mahavishnu. From the breath of such form, innumerable universes are emanating from his bodily pores, and they exist only for the time period of one breathing cycle. Is exhalation and inhalation. When he exhales, all universes are coming out from him, and when he inhales, everything is again getting wound up into his body. So between such as from the Mahavishnu's point of view, it's a very short time. Time is like that, it's connected to the body. So it is a very short time, just one breathing cycle. But within that, there are innumerable universes. Almost uncountable universes emanate. And in each and every universe, Brahmas are created, and generations of living entities. Whole universe has to be filled up, and so many things happen. And then finally Brahma dies at 100 years of his time. And that is just one breathing cycle of Mahavishnu. Can you believe what is the size of that form? That's why here it is mentioned, the gigantic universal form of the Lord Mahavishnu. Massive. So, people who are very attached to the bodily concept, they like such descriptions and activities of big, great, gigantic forms. They see that ordinary forms are very limited. They see ordinary forms have so many weaknesses. So they assume that God must be very big. They think of a very huge form. That is some people's thinking. Some people think form means limitation, so God must be formless. These are their own calculations. So the first level of thinking is okay, thinking that God must be very big. That is the form of this universal form. So the first Purusha, Mahavishnu, he is entering into each and every universe. And he lies down, and then we will see further activities. So Prabhupada mentions here why such activities are described. Huge form gets up and then enters into each and every other universe by extending himself. Why these descriptions are given? So Prabhupada says it is to present the prime necessity of devotional service, which is the only business, only occupational business of all living entities. So time and again we see that Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita repeats about devotional service, the prime necessity. If at all a living entity has to do something, a human being has to do something, that must be devotional service. That's it. A human being has no requirement to endeavor for some big things in this world. Having big ambitions and trying to become very big, or become a big master, a big controller. These are not the necessities of the living entity. Can any living entity become like that? A gigantic form from which innumerable universes comes out? There is the chance. There is no chance for a living entity. But unnecessarily, it creates a lot of activities in this world, trying to prove that it can become very big. But a human being has no necessity for this. The only necessity is how I can become servant of servant of servant of servant of servant of servant of Krishna. This is the necessity. But here everybody is trying to become how I can become master of so many people. If some company that the CEO is controlling 1 lakh people, wow, it's a big company. He's been glorified because he has become master of many masters. Right? So that's that is an unnecessary endeavor of the living entity. So, but in order to do devotional service, he has to become inspired by the Lord. He has to become attracted to the Lord. So when he sees such gorgeous activities, grand activities of the Supreme Lord, he understands his limitation. Anybody, a sober man, can see that, wow, these things are not possible for me. Prabhupada says there are 2 types of activities which the living entity clearly accepts that he cannot do. One is these gigantic universal forms and big forms, and where universes are coming out and he is entering, and then he understands this is not possible for me. And there is one more that is becoming very, very minute. So minute, that form is so minute that it can enter into each and every atom. It's not that Krishna is able to enter only into big universes, but he can also enter into each and every atom also. So he is so subtle inside the atom, he is physically present and in his own form. Actually, you will see he is the 3rd super soul, Purusha. As 3rd Purusha, he enters into each and every atom. Now, where is this possible? Scientists are unable to understand the laws that work at the level of the atom. They are able to figure out certain physical laws which are wonderfully working in our, the world that we see around. But they are unable to understand the laws of big things that are happening on universal scale or at the atomic scale. They have a lot of confusions. That confusion also they made it into one theory, uncertainty theory. So, but the Lord is there. Since Lord is there, so much energy they are able to take out from the atom. We call it as atomic energy. Now, where is that source? How so much of energy is coming from a small atom? That source is there inside the atom itself. But that source is a person. All these energies are coming out from a personality. This is something inconceivable. So that's why you see, verse after verse, Bhagavatam is repeatedly pounding on this concept that Lord has a form. Ultimate source of all energies, that Parabrahma is a person. Continuously, repeatedly, it is pounding and explaining. Why? Because it is so easy to think that everything is just going on its own. Actually, a few months back, I think there is what is that? Vande Mataram exercise. Means bringing all the Indians stuck in other countries back to the country. Because of the COVID, many people got stuck in various parts of the world. So Indian government has started an initiative to bring all of them back to the country. So the one from UAE, Dubai, I think there is one flight. As part of this mission, he brought a lot of Indians it's supposed to land in Kozhikode, Kerala, and that airport is called a tabletop airport. It's on a mountain peak. You have only a little patch of airstrip, and here there is a big valley, and the other side is also a big valley. It's called tabletop airstrip. Mangalore also has. So, and that pilot who is bringing that aircraft, driving that aircraft, he and assisted by his co-pilot, both are highly experienced. The main pilot is something like a gold medalist. He got innumerable awards. He worked in Air Force. And on that strip, he would have landed many times. 30, 40 times he would have landed. On that day, when he is approaching the airstrip, the conditions were pathetic. Huge winds are there, heavily pouring, visibility is not there, and he is supposed to land. Small airstrip. I think somehow he got a doubt that whether the landing will be proper or not. So what he did, appears to be one of the narrations. He went around many times before he landed onto the airstrip. The idea is to empty the petrol, the fuel in the airplane and then land. Because in most of the crashes, people die because the fuel catches fire. In any close crashes, there is a possibility of survival because they die because of the petrol, the fuel becomes. So then he did the needful, and then he started landing, and then it appears that he landed. Instead of landing here, he landed here. So he has a very easy space. And then because of the force, it has hit the, there will be a wall. At the end of the airstrip, there will be a concrete wall. And hit that, broke that and went and fell into the valley. And it became like two parts. There was no fire. Fuel, because fuel is almost over. No fire. I think about 18 people died. Although the flight is having 200 or something. Now, of course, the pilot died because it has hit the concrete wall. Very experienced one. Now the question is, why 18? When there are 200 people inside, why these 18? Who chose these 18? On what basis? These are the questions that doesn't cross anybody's mind. They're absorbed in the story of what happened. And it's unfortunate, very unfortunate that so many people died. But then why those 18? Why everybody else is left? And at the left, people who are survived, they survived with various degrees of injuries. Some people almost broke their limbs. Some people nothing has happened. And the nearby villagers, they all came to rescue them. When they rescued them, they all got corona. It's not only the flight thing, the corona is also waiting. It all looks like accident, but actually there is no accident. There are physical laws which are working very precisely. The laws of this world are very precise. So precise that they know which 18, they know which people has to lose their limbs. The laws are like that. So people, they cannot see the person behind this wonderful physical laws. They cannot see. So that's why they think the physical laws are acting wonderfully, automatically. They think like that. So, Prabhupada is saying, yes, one cannot see the person behind these laws, but Bhagavad Gita says, Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti Surite Sacharacharam. Krishna's Adhyaksha, direction is there. Devotees should not become panicky by looking at the actions and reactions of the energies of the Lord, because we are in the energy of the Lord. A living entity has a choice whether he wants to be under this energy or he wants to be under the energy of the internal energy. So when we are in this energy, the external energy, you see the powerful actions and reactions of this energy all around us. Big people suddenly becomes paupers, suddenly becomes worthless, and then massive reorganization of matter happens, tsunamis, earthquakes. So by looking at these different energies, and sometimes devotee has to go through all this. The impact of these energies we have to go through. So a devotee is why he is not affected by these energies, the actions of these energies. Prabhupada explains here, because he sees the lawmaker. Behind these laws, he sees the lawmaker, and then he knows that lawmaker is not a cruel person, but is a merciful person. Hare Krishna Karuna Sindho Dena Bandhu Jagatpate. So the material laws or the physical laws are these big powerful energies are not in the control of a cruel person. That's why in the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, Krishna clearly explains that all the energies is the beginning. So by recognizing the Lord's presence behind these energies, a devotee remains peaceful. It could be a small incident with one more person, or it could be some big incident with respect to his health or with respect to something. Whatever is happening, he knows that there is the Supreme Lord behind. And devotee tries to understand what is there in the mind of the Lord. He gave a direction because everything happens under his direction, my Dakshina. So he tries to recognize the direction. What is the direction? What is that Krishna wants from this? He permitted this. So what is that exactly in the mind of the Lord? So that we will be able to understand through the media of the spiritual master. So although we are unable to see the personality behind these physical laws, Krishna, out of his kindness, he appears as the Lord, as Krishna, appearing to be like one of the human beings. So Prabhupada says, gorgeous form or the tiniest form, they are not the highest glories of Krishna. Then what is the highest glorious form of the Lord? That is original form, Krishna, who appears exactly like a human form. So that's why Prabhupada is quoting Avajananti Mumukha. So the foolish people, they think that he is like me. Because somebody is looking like him, they think that he is like me. Although Krishna lifts Govardhan mountain, carries 16,000 so many people, and he is performing all those activities, still they think they are like him. They think, okay, if Krishna can become like that, one day we will also become like that. That is their thing. They don't understand the Krishna's form. So it is very difficult to understand Krishna's form without. That's why Prabhupada is concluding that that purport by saying, unless we read Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, not at all possible to understand Krishna as he is. Any questions?
In Vaishnava Vaishnava philosophy, Prabhu, we say that mind and intelligence are also personalities.
Yeah, tell me the question. Actually, the mind, intelligence, and ego, all the three are matter. Those are all various forms of the matter, material energy. And they are part of the subtle body, and the body has a form, right? Like in the last verse, it is mentioned Adi Bhautik Purusha. So, in one sense, we can call this body as a Purusha. Because Prabhupada says it is made out of Annamaya Rasa by eating grains. Okay, so the gross and subtle bodies, they're having forms and they behave in such a way that almost they are independent. They create desires, they move this body. It appears to be everything is automatic, Prakriti Kriyamanani. But this whole machine becomes active only when there is a soul. Right? So when the soul is present, the whole machine acts as if a person. In that sense, sometimes we can say that the mind and intelligence are like acting like personalities. They imitate a personality. Subtle body is like that. Other bodies, they just matter. There are some subtle matters, subtle machines. You can think mind and intelligence, all these things like a computer, some kind of a software. So, but it's a matter. They're not dealing with some internal. But ego is like that. It's a false personality. Okay, so although they are made out of matter, they behave like personalities. It appears to them, but actually they are not persons. The real person is the soul. Is it the same question?
I thought they are personalities. Then my question comes, but no question. Your answer is they are not personalities. You are saying so.
Yeah. Like in a computer, you see some personalities because simulation. They simulate like that. Mind, intelligence, and ego. They simulate a personality which the soul identifies. Then goes on, life goes on.
Because we say, bro, the anger personification and all the gunas, 6 gunas also, we call them, they are the personalities.
Yes, Bhagavatam explains that how all these qualities came out and somewhere. So that means even emotions are also controlled by some people. This body, whole body is totally controlled. Each and every aspect is controlled by one demigod or some personality. It's like that. Prakriti Kriyamanani means, Prakriti means it's a combination of innumerable demigods. Prakriti means like a government, completely controlling each and every machine, each and every robot. Right? So emotions also came, everything has come from someone.
Hare Krishna. Here in this verse, it has been told Mahavishnu, gigantic, all those things. There are some impersonalists, so they don't accept the form of the Lord. Maybe they're limited in their understanding and they're being taught like that. So how easy it is to make them understand about the personalism and what is the best way?
Bahunam Dhanmanamante. Mayavadis are very difficult to change. They are very proud. And they are proud of what? By their analyzing power. They think Mayavadis are scholarly, intellectual, and they are people of knowledge, and so they they exercise their intelligence and start interpreting these books. Sometimes they know Sanskrit, they go through Sanskrit grammar for 12 years, and they become very well versed in recitation, quoting shlokas. See, so many, and austerities. They take up a lot of austerities, and they are very, very proud that they are able to twist some new meaning which nobody has ever made till now. And he has twisted one more sloka, twisted one more. This is their scores. Like we distribution scores, they have this twisting. How many shlokas they have twisted, and what is the why are they twisting it? They are twisting it to prove that ultimately everything is impersonal. They have decided what is the final. They have already decided. On what basis they have decided? By their practical experience. They are saying persons means very weak and they cannot be gods. Right? So God must be formless. They already decided that. And that decision is also by their intellectual calculation. They feel proud about it. Yes, no, so easily I can see none of these people are qualified. God must be. Ultimately, that source must be impersonal. This is what they know. So towards that conclusion, they twist everything towards that. This is the problem. Whereas devotees, they accept the Vedas as emanations from the Supreme Lord, and with great respect, they accept them as it is. Don't want to twist. They accept them as it is. And then, if you accept the Vedas as it is, then Vedeshcha sarve ahameva vidya. They will come to Krishna. So this is the problem. So Mayavadis are like that. They are very, very proud. And sometimes if they take sannyas, according to their philosophy, as soon as you accept sannyas, then you will become Narayana. And then they address other sannyasis as Namo Narayana. And you will also say Namo Narayana. So Prabhupada says, if everybody is Narayana, then why are you eating goat Narayana? You are Narayana, then why are you eating goat Narayana? So this is a very hodgepodge. They cannot explain this question, that if you are Narayana, then how you can be in Maya currently. How you can come into Maya if you are Supreme Almighty. They have no idea. So with their contradictions, in order to cross over these contradictions, they speculate more. They say infinite of infinite of infinite. That infinite as an infinite. What is that? They can't understand. That's why Prabhupada says, the Shastra says that Maya's last attempt to catch and capture the living entity is Mayavada. Last attempt is the biggest attempt. Last snare of Maya. Attraction is false victim to Mayavada. And so devotees, we should not think that we have become free in Mayavada. Conceptually we understood what it is, but in our behavior or in our activities, Mayavada crops up. We don't even know. Shunyavada crops up. Mayavada crops up. It is very difficult to be very balanced and personalistic in our behaviors, in our decisions. So that's why, by understanding Krishna conscious philosophy, devotees becomes finer. They becomes very sensitive, fine. They recognize varieties. They understand how to deal with various types of people. This is Vaishnavism. We recognize, okay, this person is like that. Fine. That's also one variety. He knows how to deal with him. There's one more. He's of a certain nature. He has got certain characteristics. He understands how to deal with him. Like that, Vaishnavism is like very, very sensitive and personalistic. They recognize variety and they deal with the variety as the variety is. Whereas Mayavadis, they say no variety. Everything is one. Sometimes in organizations, such rules will come, have to be made. Because we cannot take care of each and every variety. So in organizations, what they do, they just pass one rule. That's why organization is an impersonal entity. They don't consider personalistic requirements. The entire material world is like that. It came from impersonal energy, impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord. That's why jivas hanker for personalism. They hanker for a perfect relationship. They hanker for perfect happiness. Why? Because everywhere is all impersonal. Nobody bothers, nobody cares, nobody understands first of all. What is your requirement also nobody understands. That is this world. Okay, so but whereas in spiritual world, every smallest requirement or variety is taken care nicely. So that is our hankering. That's why Prabhupada is saying in the beginning, that should be the only target of the human being. How to experience that fine relationship with the God. This is our goal. Any other? Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.